two. Hello, everyone. I am back. Thank you all for tuning back in. And I want to make one thing clear here. First, I am your host. Thank you all for joining me. Just one question, Lion Flood. I sincerely appreciate that. For everyone who's out there, do me a quick small favor. Make sure you get a chance to go hit that like, subscribe button. Share this out with all your friends, family members, and to the world. They deserve to know what's going on. Let me get straight to the point. As you all know, I don't do too much talking in this beginning. I just play the videos, and then you make your own determination. But before I do that, I want to make clear what this page is not about. This is not about cop bashing, not about law enforcement bashing or going against them like that. This primarily here is about the repercussions of what happens when officers lie to the public, lie to the court system, how people are affected about it. My question is, who polices the police, right? So in today's video, we're going to watch very clearly a young gentleman who just got released from the hospital. He was there as a patient. He got released. He was in the lobby. He asked someone to be able to use their cell phone to call a family member to come pick him up. When he gets the phone, you'll see he doesn't move, he doesn't leave. So to insinuate that he's trying to steal the phone, he stands there. The hospital did not call. No one called inside the police reports, nothing. The officer was just in the hospital. He saw the guy. He approached him. And you'll see in the video, he got 5 years in prison because of this, right? But most officers don't get any trouble when they do something like this. But without any further ado, let's hop into the video, and I'll jump in and I'll give a little tidbits here and there.
A former Fort Worth police officer received 5 years in prison for lying under oath. John Romer was found guilty in 2019 for making false statements to the grand jury about this 2016 confrontation when he punched a man in a hospital lobby. Fox 4's Dion Anglin gives us the update. Dion.
The former police officer who was once sworn to uphold the law is now an inmate after finding himself on the wrong side of it. The case against John Romer culminated today in court.
It is therefore the order, judgment, decree of this court that the defendant, John Preston Romer Jr., is hereby sentenced to 5 years confinement in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice.
Handcuffed and in custody more than 4 years after a hospital lobby encounter was captured by surveillance cameras. Former cop John Romer convicted in 2019 of lying under oath about what happened that day, now sentenced to 5 years in prison.
There couldn't have been a more severe aggravated perjury. All the lies that he told to cover up his excessive force.
Romer was working an off-duty detail when he punched and body slammed 20-year-old Henry Newson. Prosecutors Friday revisited the case before the judge announced Romer's punishment for perjury. Newson had borrowed a bystander's cell phone to call for a ride. A confrontation with Romer escalated, and Newson was taken into custody. Romer told a grand jury he placed Newson under arrest before punching him. A conversation also recorded by surveillance proved he had not.
And Romer told him, if I let you go after having to throw you on the ground and hit you, then I'm in trouble. He didn't have to throw him on the ground and hit him. But he committed to a lie on that day, and we're here 4.5 years later, still dealing with it.
Charges against Newson of trespassing and resisting arrest were later dropped. Romer's attorney argued for probation and called the perjury case bogus.
It's a case that has no bones. It's a case that has no substance. It's a case that has no materiality. The statement, "you're under arrest," is not material to anything that was litigated in this courtroom. It's a complete jellyfish of a case.
You know, as a police officer, we fairly expect as citizens for you to be a person that upholds the law. And when you fall into making false statements, using excessive force against citizens, then it's our duty to call you out on that and to act appropriately.
The judge in this case decided 5 years behind bars is appropriate.
Do you understand these rights, Mr. Romer? Yes, sir. Sheriff, he's your prisoner.
Now, Romer could have faced as much as 10 years in prison. It is not yet clear if the state will pursue pending charges of official oppression, since any sentence he received for that could not be longer than what he received today.
Okay, so just to jump back in and make this really quick, here we have an officer who's lying, and why? To cover his to cover his back, right? What I want to just like make clear to people sometimes is that officers are human. They're going to make mistakes, and we understand that their job is totally different. It's stressful. It's a whole lot of things that go into it that we directly don't understand. I get it. There's some things that we look at and say, you know what, that should have happened, but hey, it's in the course of their duty and it's okay. My thing is when they lie or try to plant evidence, or then they go further than what they need to, they get caught, and then maybe all they do is get 2 days suspension. Whereas with what they did would considerably affect someone else's life, throwing them in jail, losing their job, maybe potentially losing custody of their children. Financially, they got to pay for bond, bail, and they didn't do anything. So that's directly what I wanted to just try to bring up today. Also, make sure, please, like I said before, like, subscribe, get this out there to the world. I want everyone to see it so we can talk and have a conversation about it. The only way to make change is for people to bring it to others' attentions, right? So thank you all for joining again. I'm your host, Lion Flood. Make sure you join me next week for just one question. We will continue on this journey, and I'll bring some light to some new things. And also, always remember this, just because you're being hustled, it does not mean it's a bad thing.